I know it's here somewhere. Finally. Oh, it's time for the doctor. You're listening to Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. Take it away, Doctor.
Well, it's that time again, and the doctor is in. It's time once again for Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. And today is episode 500. Wow, episode 500. And as you may know, when we have a 100th episode, so 100, 200, 300, 400, now 500 episodes, that means it's time for a guest appearance by my son, the GameMaster. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do it over Jitsi. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. We are proud members of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. We're also proud members of the International Association of Internet Broadcasters. Yes, indeed. Now would be a good time for a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor today is IPVanish. IPVanish has an amazing deal available for you right now if you're looking for a VPN. And all you gotta do is go to this address right here on the screen. This address is drbill.tv/VPN. Go to that address. You will find an amazing deal in this show. But because of their sponsorship of this show, and I appreciate IPVanish for doing that. Now, about the 500th episode. 500 episodes. 500 episodes. The old doctor has been doing shows. Video shows specifically. But at any rate, we're going to get into that today with my son Benjamin the GameMaster, known online as GameMaster ZX. That's his handle. And he is quite a character. And he and I share interest in many different things online and entertainment-wise. So we usually talk about entertainment and things of that nature. Now, a little setup for this. We're going to be using Jitsi, which is an open source project that is kind of a Zoom-like. If you're used to using Zoom for conferencing and things of that nature, it is very much like that, but it's open source and free, and I'm running it off of my own server, so it's totally free and independent, and we'll get into that session right now. Anyway, I appreciate you doing this because it was going to be kind of sad to do a 500th episode and not have you on.
Indeed.
Because it has been a definite tradition. We did the 100th episode, 200, 300, 400, now the 500th episode. That's...
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Although only having you on at episode 100 marks isn't really intentional. We could do it more often than that, but I just didn't want to do it and not have you on. So there you go. Insofar as what to discuss, there are a great many things to discuss.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't know if you've heard about. Some of them you'll go, meh. Probably you don't care. But some of them I care about, although I'm a little dubious. One thing...
I have quite a few things that you might not care about that we could talk about as well.
Okay.
Like Nintendo stuff in particular.
Oh, okay. Well, if the gnats really start getting to me, I will whack them in the midst of our discussion. Anyway, the weird thing about gnats I discovered in doing some research is that they like carbon dioxide. So as you breathe out, they fly toward your nose and mouth.
Which, of course, then you breathe in.
Yes. I will not admit to the number I have done in
Mm-hmm.
by doing so. But normally I try to whack them. We also have paddles that are, I think you've
Yep.
seen the electric paddles. We actually have some set up in different rooms that glow and they fly into, and in the middle of the night you'll hear, like, yes. So, it's appropriately evil. I like it. Anyway, keep moving mouses and making things jump. So, the thing I was going to mention was Babylon 5.
Yes, I actually Wing mentioned it last night, and then I got your email this morning.
So, okay, so I didn't know if you'd heard about that. I've got mixed feelings.
Yeah, I didn't realize last night that J. Michael Straczynski was still involved. That's
Yeah,
helps,
it helps, although,
but it's the CW.
well, it is the CW, and the guy that I saw the video talking about it said, don't let that turn you off of it entirely, because while it is the CW, hopefully it's not going to be like a teen angst
Yeah.
version of Babylon 5. It's just that Warner Brothers owns, or the people that own Warner Brothers own the CW, Warner Brothers, and
Mm-hmm.
HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, HBO Max is showing all 5 seasons of Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The old ones, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So when this new one comes about,
Watch that.
you know, theoretically they have a property that they can make some bucks off of.
Yeah.
But I guess my problem is I can see where JMS would want to update the technology.
Mm-hmm.
He'd want to have better special effects, all of those good things. I just hope he doesn't like start completely from square one and try to redo the entire story.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, would be the most troubling. I'd rather see him do it on a different part of that same universe with a different arc of stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, still have the alien species, still have the even mentions of the same conflicts and various things that happened, but I just don't know. I'm gonna have to see. I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch it because I'm a fan of the original, but hopefully, being a fan of the original won't put me off. Because I really like the original. I think the original still holds up pretty well, other than the special effects.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That was like the first show ever to use CGI. So we're talking bargain basement. I think the only one that predates it is probably Sequest. Sequest was done on what was called a video toaster, which is just a little box that generated video. And they did some impressive work with it back then. So, I don't know. But, we'll see. The other thing that I heard about, and I don't know if I sent you an email on, is that BBC is giving up on Chibnall. He is out for Doctor Who, and Russell T Davies is back.
Yup.
So
that's encouraging.
It's encouraging. Now, I don't think the BBC will say, oh, we're done with wokeism, we're done with the whole thing, we're just going to go back to original Doctor Who. They're not going to give up entirely. But Chibnall was just hopeless.
I didn't even watch those seasons.
I know, he didn't watch him. I had to watch him. I don't know why. But I watched all of them.
Completion.
Yeah, just hanging in
still a shame,
there.
because I still liked that actress.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean...
Jodie Whittaker.
I don't even think that her doctor was bad, per se. The writing was bad. The arcs were bad.
Once again, much like Peter Capaldi, it was a
Companions
real
were
shame.
bad. What they
Yeah.
did with them were bad.
Really.
Oh, it was pitiful. It was just so pitiful. What
Yeah, I
little
only.
interest that came up every so often, they would squander and crush. So I don't know. I didn't like
No.
it very much at all. But and the whole thing they did with the, I don't even know because you didn't watch it probably, but the whole business with the timeless child and the doctor.
Oh dear, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, well, they brought up this was like a long arc thing about the timeless child.
Hmm.
It was brought up, I think, during Capaldi's time as a
Oh.
mystery.
The Game of Thrones actress character.
No, 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 no. There
Oh,
was
okay.
just something about Gallifrey and something about quote the timeless child, but it never
Okay.
was fleshed out. Well, Chibnall took it
Yeah.
and basically decided that Gallifrey was just this regular planet, until a particular alien was dropped out of the sky on them, so to speak. And it turned out that this child was immortal, and this child went through regenerations. And the
Hmm.
mother, adopted Gallifreyan mother, of the child kept experimenting with the child, essentially killing it, over and
Nice.
over and over, and it kept regenerating. And so she decided, ooh, this is really cool to be able to regenerate. You could live forever. So she learned the technology, biochemical technology of how this alien child worked, and incorporated that into Gallifreyan physiology. So the original timeless child that created all of Gallifreyan's ability to have two hearts and live forever and regenerate, well, live close to forever and regenerate, um, was the Doctor. That was the big reveal. Is that the Doctor had had all these previous regenerations, because the difference was, while a Gallifreyan is limited to 12 regenerations,
Hmm.
the Timeless Child had an infinite number of regenerations.
Right.
And all of
So.
these previous regenerations, they wiped his memory of all of them, so that the Doctor we know of as the first Doctor, he really wasn't the first Doctor. He was the first Doctor who remembered who he was. And
Hmm.
then he ended up getting more regenerations in that episode because they
Hmm.
sent Cosmic through the thing to the from the other dimension.
Yeah.
No, it was because he always had the ability to regenerate infinitely. Um, and nobody liked that. And also, the Master came back to tell the Doctor all of this, as in you're really the timeless child and you don't even know it. Which I'm not sure how he could gloat over that, but anyway. Um, but in the process, he ends up killing everyone on Gallifrey and destroying the entire planet.
For real this time.
For real this time. In the Chibnall world. Now, of course, all the fans went, no, no, we aren't going for this. And they just, that's where they left it, suspended there. And now we're eventually going to come back to her last year of season. And I don't know what they're going to do with it at that point. But apparently, Russell T Davies is on board to pick up wherever they leave off. So he may have some input on maybe fixing that. I don't know. It's all questionable. But it is worth kind of knowing what happened, even though it's kind of painful to watch at the same time. I don't know if you'd ever want to go back and watch them. But it's what they're going to have to work with.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It could all be a feverish dream that the master planted in her head. They could explain it in any number of ways. It could be like, what was it? Patrick Duffy taking a shower on Dallas episode. That's before your time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. What other interesting things? You mentioned Star Wars Visions.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of those yet, although I know generally what the premise is.
Okay.
As I understand it, the idea is that they're allowing people who are not directly connected with production in the Star Wars universe do stories within universe, and some of them are kind of like anime.
Entirely wrong.
All right.
They
Be wrong.
have.
Be entirely wrong.
Well, I suppose you're like 90% wrong.
Okay.
They're not like anime.
Okay.
They are produced by actual anime companies.
Oh, okay.
They actually they gave license to several anime studios to make different short films.
Ah.
So it's also not like a series. It's just 9 separate short films.
Interesting.
Most of them are good.
Most of them are good. Okay. Are they staying away generally from things that might impact canon, or?
So I don't think any of them are supposed to be officially canon.
Okay.
Necessarily. Like there is although a book tying into one of them, so maybe I don't know.
Huh.
But none of them deal with any of the main characters except Boba Fett appears in one. And Jabba. But none of the main storylines, none of the main time periods even really. It's just kind of whatever the studio comes up with to put in the Star Wars universe, just as a showcase of their style. And some of them are more in keeping with Star Wars than others, for sure.
Okay.
But
are some of them more anime oriented, like in terms of what am I trying to get to? Thought process, world building, as opposed to Star Wars? Are they really trying to stay close to Star Wars? I guess I'm imagining Bleach in the Star Wars universe.
I mean, there is one short film that is literally just the studio Trigger, who I don't think you've seen anything they made. They made like Kill la Kill, SSSS Gridman, which you might actually like because it's rip on Ultraman rather.
Yeah. There's a new Ultraman on Netflix,
anyway.
by the way.
Another new one?
Well, newer than the one that I used to watch when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah, the 2015 one.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. I don't remember who made that, but
yeah.
Basically, okay. First of all, to finish talking about that real quick, Gridman is actually a character in the Ultraman universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever saw the original Gridman. It was not very popular.
Yeah.
But the Studio Trigger got the rights to make Gridman and Dynazenon. Or maybe it's Dynazenon that was a character originally. Gridman was made up. But anyway, either way, they're doing interesting things with expanding that universe. So anyway, I can't really say too much about either of those without spoiling the plot if you did want to watch them. So.
Okay. Well, I definitely will end up watching them. We're always looking for stuff to watch, and a lot of it is stuff that I'm sure you would have no interest in at all. But, like for instance, NCIS is interesting this year.
The original one, or
the original NCIS, yeah. There's only been 2 episodes that we've seen, but I kind of like it. It's different, and not drastically different, but different. So let's see. Let's go talk about Babylon 5. I'm going to talk about Star Wars. What else is happening in the?
I have okay. I need to know if this is going to be a surprise to you or not. So, first of all, have you heard anything about the new Mario movie yet?
No.
Okay. In that case, I want you to go in blind, so I'm not going to tell you anything until we actually start the episode.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're recording now,
Oh, okay.
so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll edit as needed, but
Gotcha.
or we
So, or one, yeah. So Mario is getting an animated movie next year.
I had vaguely heard something about that.
That's the thing. Before they just announced it's coming.
Okay.
Now
that's
we
probably
have
why.
the cast.
Yes.
So Mario is being played by Chris Pratt.
Oh, that will be awesome.
It will be something.
I think
Princess
that will be
Peach
fun. Yes.
is being played by someone named Anya Taylor-Joy, who I don't know.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
She's very popular for a show that she's in recently that I didn't watch, so I don't remember the name of the
You
show
don't
now.
remember the name of it? Okay.
Let me look her up real quick. Queen's Gambit.
It's what?
The Queen's Gambit is the name of the show.
The Queen's Gambit. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a Netflix show or something, I think.
Yeah.
Charlie Day as Luigi.
Okay.
He's like a comedian that he did. What was that show called? Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. Familiar with the show in general, although I haven't seen it per se. I've seen excerpts.
There's like one image from that show that's like a meme of Charlie Day's character pointing at one of those like red string whiteboards of conspiracy theories and looking like a crazed lunatic. That's Luigi now.
Okay. That could be interesting.
The one I really got a kick out of is guess who's playing Bowser?
I was going to say, who's going to play Bowser?
Jack Black.
Jack Black is Bowser.
Yep.
I like it.
So Kung Fu Panda is now canon in the Mario universe, is what that means, right?
There you go. I like it. It sounds like it would be weird.
There's actually more, believe it or not.
Yes.
Do you know Keegan-Michael Key?
Yes, vaguely.
He's from a comedy duo called Key and Peele that apparently split up recently.
Right.
Anyway, he's playing Toad.
Oh.
The little Toad character is getting a character for some reason, and it's played by Keegan-Michael Key. Sure.
Okay.
Seth Rogen is in the movie.
Yeah.
As Donkey Kong.
Okay. Now these are voice acting.
Yeah, this is all voice acting.
Okay.
And then the other three are people I don't really know as actors, and they're playing characters that are not major characters, but for completion. Do you know Fred Armisen?
Name sounds familiar.
Because I don't think I know anything.
I'd have to look up what he's in.
He's playing Cranky Kong, which is Donkey Kong's father, I believe, or grandfather.
Okay.
I don't remember, to be honest. Kevin Michael Richardson, who the screenshot of him looks familiar, but I don't remember.
Yeah, familiar name.
Is playing the Magic Koopa Kamek.
Okay.
And Sebastian Maniscalco, Italian name, is playing Spike.
Okay.
Who is a character that... No, this is a theatrical Hollywood movie.
Oh, an actual full-blown movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's coming out holiday 2020. So anywhere from like November to end of December.
Really?
Who knows? Yeah.
So they're putting this together relatively quickly, I guess.
What did I say? Did I say
2020?
I meant 2022.
2022, okay.
Because 2020 already happened.
That's true. Good point. Uh, I knew that sounded odd, but
Yeah.
hey. Huh.
So anyway,
So you probably have heard or know that there's going to be another entry in the Sonic, basically a second
yes,
Sonic movie.
yes.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to that because it's going to have a lot more of Tails in it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Also gonna have Knuckles in it.
yeah,
You know who's playing Knuckles?
uh,
Idris Elba.
he plays a lot of interesting characters to be a leading man
Yeah.
type.
I
I guess got to give it to him that he has a good sense of humor to be able to play.
that's the thing. I guess he just has
these
fun with it.
roles.
It's
Yeah,
It's got to
exactly.
be it.
I mean, I'd much rather him, for instance, be Bond. That I don't know if you've heard this. There's the next Bond is supposed to be female.
Mm.
James Bond. I guess Jane Bond. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Jamie Bond.
Jamie Bond, yeah. But I mean, why?
Yeah. Like I've never understood if it's supposed to be the same character or not either.
Well, that's the thing. There's a fan theory among Bond people that the name and designation of 007 and James
Mm-mm.
Bond is passed down.
See, I thought that was actual canon for the longest time,
It
but
sort of is. I don't know if like the original books. I don't think it was in the books,
probably not.
but
Yeah.
I think it's kind of come to be accepted in the movies that that's the case. But anyway,
Yeah. Well.
I haven't watched. I had like the current Bond guy
Yeah.
whose name escapes me.
Um,
I have no interest in whatsoever. I've not seen
Yeah,
any of his Bonds.
well, we saw Casino Royale when it came out.
We did.
Oh yeah, it was that memorable.
Wow.
I remember exactly one scene from that movie, and it was the one scene where they were in a casino.
Okay.
There was a firefight over a poker table. That's it. That's all I remember.
Well, I thought I had not seen them. That's how much
Yeah.
I remember about it. So there you go.
No, it was very boring.
I mean, I liked Sean Connery as Bond. I liked Roger Moore as Bond. I really liked Pierce Brosnan as Bond, but mainly because I used to watch Remington Steele.
Ah, yes.
And when he was playing Remington Steele, I kept saying, "Oh man, they ought to make him Bond." And so finally, they made him Bond, and it was very cool. Although he didn't do as many as some of the earlier actors because he kind of aged out, but he was just a cool Bond. He was kind of the suave, debonair Bond that you expect to be Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this current guy, I mean, this sounds terrible to say it this way, but I think he's too ugly to be Bond. He's just kind of eh.
He's very like Hollywood action star Vin Diesel type.
Somebody's joining us?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
I'm confused.
We're about to be jitsi bombed.
We're being invaded.
How weird is that? Participant has stopped the camera. Participant is muted. How about
Okay.
participant is kicked out?
Weird.
Don't get in on my private jitsi.
Somebody disconnected.
Somebody. I mean, the thing is, this is my own server,
Yeah, like
and it's a private jitsi, so
someone
Take
just happened
that.
to guess the link. I don't know.
well, you know, I think there probably is software these days that just looks trolls for sessions. But you
I don't
know,
know why you would want to, but
ever the rebel, I'm using Jitsi instead of Zoom. So
yep,
anyway, open source. Yay.
because Zoom is lame.
Well,
It's too
Zoom is the
mainstream.
man.
Too mainstream.
It's too mainstream. That's right. Anyway, other things.
Yes. So,
We strayed over to Bond territory, which is not an area that I'm
yeah, I don't know
terribly
anything about
excited
Bond
about.
really.
Star Trek's the new Strange New Worlds. I'm pretty excited about. They've given number one, the classic character played by Majel Roddenberry, who was number one in the original series, The Cage, etc.
Mhm.
Her part is now being played by Rebecca Romijn. You remember her from The Librarians?
Not really.
Okay. She was the one that was like the protector of the librarian. She also played.
Oh, okay.
She was the original Mystique
Yes.
in the
Okay,
X-Men
that's where I know
movies.
her from. Yep.
Yes. She's older now, but at any
A
rate,
little bit, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, she's very attractive still. But anyway,
Yeah, she doesn't look bad actually.
but she's going to be playing number one, and they have given her an actual name, which we've never known in canon before. Her name is going to be Una. Get it? Number one.
Yes. Very clever.
Una something Riley. I don't remember it.
Chin. I just looked it up.
There you go. Chin Riley. Now,
Sure.
she has teased, Rebecca Romijn has teased in social media that you're really going to be impressed at the tie-in for number one into the Star Trek universe historically, which has led some people to think that maybe it's going to be that she is like the granddaughter of T'Pol from Enterprise. I'm thinking maybe that's not the case. I'm thinking, what if she is somehow directly a descendant of Archer?
Yeah, I started to say she wasn't a Vulcan, was she, originally?
Well, that's just it. The person I was watching on YouTube pointed out that if you look at all the images of number one, she has hair down long that covers her ears.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about number one, both in the Cage episode and in later episodes, she always comes across as very intelligent, very methodical, very logical. So, kind of could be. But I tend to think it's not going to be that she has Vulcan ancestry as much as I think it might be that she is related to Archer. Although these are all speculations. But
yeah,
at any rate, it sounds interesting. They're going to have Ensign Uhura. So before she became lieutenant. They're going to have Dr. Mbenga, who in the original series was an African-American doctor that was an expert in Vulcan physiology.
Oh.
He came in to work on Spock and stuff during the original series. And was, I can't remember the actor who played him, but the guy did a great job. I always liked Dr. Mbenga. But anyway, this guy is reviving that role. Who else are they having? They have a couple of new characters, and I can't remember all of them. Phooey. But it looks interesting. It looks like it's going to be fun. It's going to be more episodic as opposed to long arc. So a lot of Star Trek fans are kind of looking forward to that. I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Some people say that's why real Star Trek fans didn't like Deep Space Nine. I always liked Deep Space Nine.
That's the thing. Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek by far.
And the fans who originally rejected it have now gone back and watched it. I mean, this amazed me. Will Wheaton on Star Trek Day recently, when they had Star Trek Day, said from the podium as he was introducing one of the actors from Deep Space Nine, he said that he was young and emotional when he played Wesley Crusher.
Yeah.
And so he had a kind of a prejudice against Deep Space Nine. They were the other show.
Mm-hmm.
And so he didn't watch any of Deep Space Nine. It's only been recently that he's gone back and binge watched them. And he said, oh my goodness, they're awesome.
Yeah. Literally the best Trek that has ever been filmed.
Exactly. So I gave him credit for basically coming clean.
Yeah.
And admitting that that was the case. But, you know, there's some cool stuff happening. Star Trek Prodigy, even though it's going to be appearing on Nickelodeon, doesn't look terrible. Looks like it might be interesting.
Picard too, though.
Picard.
I'm very interested in where that's going.
Very interesting where that's going to go. I mean, with Q coming back. Plus, it's definitely going to be.
I still haven't seen the trailer. That's right.
It's going to be timey-wimey.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna have a different timeline that they're gonna have to fix. Probably Q messing with him.
Or this is going to be how they're going to fix the Kelvin verse again.
Well,
probably not.
I'm wondering if they're going to fix Picard. You know, because now he is an android, which I like that.
I think that's cool. Yeah,
I think it's cool, but theoretically, Q could go snap and make him a real boy.
Yeah.
Again.
Lufarium.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of, actually, that was one thing I wanted to mention about Visions. One of them is a direct Astro Boy homage.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's all about a droid who wants to be a Jedi.
A droid who wants to be a Jedi.
And the droid's name is T0B1.
Toby.
Yep.
Cute.
Oh, and the scientist that made him is just Dr. Elephant. It's just the same design.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to watch that then, because if nothing else, that would be splendid and worthwhile. Although, I will admit that Astro Boy has not held up.
Oh, no. Not at all.
I appreciate you guys getting me the video or whatever of Astro Boy so I could go back and watch it, but when I watched it, I was like, this is not what I remember.
Yeah. And the saddest part,
so awesome.
The saddest part is most of the remakes haven't even been that good.
No.
Which is a real shame.
Yeah.
Because it's such a part of, like, it literally was the start of modern anime.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And yet no one seems to be able to capture that essence again, I guess. I don't know.
It was totally my favorite. Got a hair on my mic. It was totally my favorite kind of cartoon of those days. I mean, I saw it when it first premiered in the U.S. It had to be the 60s.
It was
probably late.
Let's go
60s.
look it up to be sure.
Yeah. But Astro Boy, I don't know. It caught my imagination as a kid. And it was, to me, it was the right amount of angsty, emotional, and yet fun. The whole business where the guy lost his son and built his own son, tugged at the heartstrings, etc. I mean, it was...
Like, it not only inspired the medium of anime, it inspired a lot of the storylines you've seen in Mega Man.
Yeah, it's true.
Blanking on everything else now.
And when they created his android family, because he eventually had a sister and I think a little brother and mother and father, all of which were robots. That was cool.
I assume a robot dog, because you gotta have a robot dog.
Gotta have a robot dog, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, that goes
1963 was the original air date, by the way.
63, okay.
January 1st, 1963, no less.
So, well, since I'm recording my screen, I won't do that, but I was going to pull up a calculator. 1963 minus 1955 would be...
I'm really doing math right now. You would have been 8.
8?
Technically, you would have been 7, because it was in January that it came out.
That's true. That's true. So,
although, I don't know if that was the Japanese air date or the U.S. air date, to be fair.
Well, yeah. So, whenever whatever it appeared in the U.S., I started watching it.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I would have been about the right age for it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, so geezer to the end. Trying to think of some of the other news items.
I
That
have a
might
little
be
silly bit of news that's mildly interesting.
Yes.
Do you remember Blue's Clues?
Yes.
They recently had an anniversary episode.
Uh-huh.
Let me go look up what the actual number of years was. I guess it was the 25th anniversary or something.
Okay.
Or no, 30th actually.
I saw a blurb
Anyway.
about the guy who played Steve?
Yep, the original Steve
The original Steve
came on for that episode.
came on for the episode, but he said or did something.
He had a message for the people who watched him back when they were kids.
Okay, what was
And
that?
it was basically just like, I've moved on to other things since then. I'm sure you have too, but I never forgot you, and I'm glad we're still friends.
Ah, okay.
It was just this very sweet, wholesome little
Well, that's good.
clip that went around the internet for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
As someone who did literally grow up with Blue's Clues, it definitely was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like when I hear the Pokemon theme,
Yep.
that still kind of gets me.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you were watching it as a
great
little
song.
kid, and the song was awesome.
Yep.
And some of them are just so iconic; you stick in your head. And
Yeah.
but even some of the message of the song, having a destiny and everything. I mean, it's really good.
It really is. It's my favorite like English anime opening.
Yeah.
Well, Shaman King is also pretty hard to top, to be fair. But
Yeah.
a lot of people argue the second Pokemon opening is better. I don't see it.
Yeah. Well, it's like me. I like the Boku Hero. What is it? The second or third theme?
Make My Story.
Make My Story. That's my favorite.
That was like number 5, I think.
Number 5. Okay, I figured it was down the road a little ways, but
Because I think it
that
was
one
the
to me
second
is
one
my
of season
favorite.
3.
The current one
Yeah.
sticks in my head, but not for good reasons.
Hmm.
I don't really care that much for it,
I don't remember the current one.
particularly
I'll have to go look it
since
up.
they sing it partially in Japanese and partially in English.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a great job with English, except for the word carousel. They pronounce it carousel. And they sing it that way. And I'm like, it's carousel. You've done so well with every other English word.
Yeah.
And
It's always interesting whether they go for trying to sound like they're pronouncing it the English way or just saying it the Japanese way, not caring. Because some songs, they'll just literally say the English word as if it was a Japanese word, and it sounds great.
well, that's the thing. I mean, they have English word references in there like merry-go-round,
Mm-hmm.
which they sing perfectly appropriately, and it works. And every other thing in there, and then they go, the carousel goes round and round. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Nope.
But anyway, and then of course their end song of that one is very plaintive and sad and
Because you're getting into that era
all
of
of
the
that,
show.
and it's also kind of infectious, but it's I don't care for it that much, but it sticks in your head. Anyway, you probably haven't seen any of the subtitled versions that we're watching currently, but they had a whole series of My Villain Academia
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of intense
Yep.
with Shigaraki and so forth.
Strap in.
Huh?
Strap in. We're
Yeah,
getting
right.
we're literally just starting to peek
Just
down the
starting
roller coaster.
that. Well, they just went back to the good guys' side to
Mm.
follow that story a little bit, and they're basically going to finally meet.
Yeah.
Although they just had the revelation that the doctor who is engineering, what's the bad guy's name?
Which one?
The
All for One.
oh, Fooey, the one who whatever he touches rots.
Oh, Shigaraki.
So that is Shigaraki. Okay, I was confusing two characters.
Gotcha.
All right,
Yeah.
the doctor is supposed to be working on him to give him more power and ability
Oh yes.
to the point that he is supposed to end up being more powerful than All for One.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of had that revelation when the doctor was talking to him about it, saying, "You'll be more powerful than he is." And he goes, "I will." Like, uh-oh.
Yep.
So, that sounds interesting. Meanwhile,
Well, real quick before we get off that character,
Uh-huh.
you've seen the Doctor now, right?
yes,
Like you've seen what he looks like.
yes.
Do you remember way back in episode 1, the Doctor that told Deku that he would never have a quirk?
Yes. Yep. You had mentioned something about that many moons ago.
Yep.
And I kind of was watching for that a little bit. But the whole business with this doctor is there's something up with him that's definitely not going to be good.
Yeah.
Not going to be good. Deku is learning how to use his secondary ability a little bit better.
That was the other thing back then that I really wanted to talk about but couldn't, was that he was going to get more powers.
Oh yeah. Well, he's online to get. They just talked about the fact that he's going to get the float power
Mm-hmm.
any time now, basically. Although he hasn't yet.
Okay.
But some of the enhancements of the powers of some of the other characters have been interesting too.
Oh yeah, that's what I've always been a big fan of.
Yeah, I mean as they've gone to training with the professional heroes, their apprenticeships, if you will.
Mm.
Their powers are getting more further developed, including Yururaka. Yeah, I know I didn't get it right, but yeah, I do.
We know who you meant.
Anyway, but several of them, Red Rush is getting a whole lot more powerful. Although he's still not one of my favorites, but
That's fair.
cool.
You mean Kirishima, right?
Kirishima, yeah, I couldn't think of his.
I really like Kirishima. He's
name.
essentially a classic anime trope, kind of dialed up to 11, but then also made a real character instead of just a gimmick.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun to see him develop.
Yeah.
Because there's always been that like hot-blooded, hot-headed, gotta be manly and do it, character in anime, and he actually has real reasons for being that way, and I don't know how much you've seen of his backstory, so I'm not.
I have his backstory and his motivations. A lot of the characters, they've done a lot of development with that, and they took the time to do it, and I'm sure there's more to come. But
it's honestly, that's my favorite part of this series, is that all the characters are well thought out and get proper development.
Yep.
Not just Deku.
And actually, it's kind of interesting what they're doing with All Might, as far as his helping Deku and Bakugo develop. In some ways, he's trying at least to pay as much attention to Bakugo. Bakugo doesn't appreciate that, but yet at least.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's, I think,
one can hope.
Yeah,
one can hope he'll eventually get a clue.
I know, and I still say it's kind of it wouldn't take much to tip him over to being a bad guy. You know, as far as his
Do you want
demeanor.
a very, very slight spoiler for Bakugo?
Okay.
You will be very impressed with him in about one more season.
Oh, okay.
There
Well,
is a
I know
scene
that
in
there's more
particular
to
that...
him than just being
No, of course. But there
a
is one scene in
knucklehead and
particular I'm
hot-headed
thinking
and all
of.
that. He does have a very deep streak of hero-ness.
Yeah.
You know, it's just his
Took
whole
a while to
attitude
find it, but...
doesn't help him.
Yeah.
But at any rate, but I guess it makes for an interesting character. So
That's the thing. It's one of the characters that people have not stopped talking about, so...
Well, there you go.
Certainly successful.
But we definitely have been watching that quite closely. Never miss it each week. So it's just taken forever to spool out because I know
That's
you're
thing.
like
That's what...
years ahead of us.
Yeah, that's why I switched to the mangas, because it takes so long when you're watching it as it's airing. I always preferred binging anime to watching weekly. It's so rough.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they don't do that much during the show. Some shows they compact a lot into, and then others just like they just string it along.
Like the whole Chisaki arc overhaul, that felt so much longer in the manga and had so much more detail. It felt like, and they just kind of crushed it together into a couple episodes. I was very disappointed by that. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, there's a couple of things like that. I mean, I know they had to do some of the villain stuff recently, but that was getting really old. You know, we were both kind of going.
No, in the manga
Let's get
too, we
past
were
the
like,
villains, you know.
because keep in mind, in the manga, it's like 2 or 3 chapters of the manga is one episode. So we had it for even longer in the manga.
Oh, yeah.
So we were very tired of it by the time it finally finished.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember a period where I stopped really wanting to talk about Boku Hero too much.
Yeah.
That was that period.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm a little done talking about that show, to be honest.
Well.
But then the very next arc picked things right back up, and we were like, okay, we're back in.
Oh, okay.
So
is Wing watching it too?
We've both been reading it.
Oh, reading it.
Yeah, we haven't been watching the series.
True, you haven't been watching it. I think I'm watching it, but okay. So you get to have discussions about it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the thing that we've been talking about is discussions that we've kind of missed out on with some of the shows.
Yeah.
You know, partially because you're not watching some of them anymore, but others we just haven't managed to connect. You know, the consequence of being many states away.
Yeah. Like a 20-hour drive away.
Yeah, 20-hour drive. It's you know,
a little difficult.
There you go. Let's see.
So yes, what else has... Okay, have you seen... I assume you've seen Shang-Chi by now.
Oh, yes.
And it was... How did you feel about it?
I liked it. I went in with very medium expectations.
That's fair.
Because I'm not familiar with the character.
That's the thing. I had no expectations at first.
I learned enough about it to kind of have some concept going in. I knew some of the politically incorrect side of it with Fu Manchu.
Oh, yeah.
As his original father figure and all that.
Very fair that they got rid of that name.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I understand that, particularly these days. I liked how the movie went into his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like your typical, now here's what happened.
Yeah, it wasn't a classical origin film. It was
spooled out.
Much better done, in my opinion.
It was very well done. I did not know that the friend character, the girl, was a current personality.
Oh, yes. She is a influencer, as they say.
An influencer or whatever. Yeah. I think it's interesting
Yeah, I mean, she did a great
She
job with the
is.
role.
She
So
did. She did a great job with the
I
role,
have no
and I
complaints.
thought it was a good part. Um, it wasn't like, ooh, that's so and so, and I know
Yeah,
her. So it
yeah.
didn't do anything for me in
Honestly,
that sense.
personally, I would feel drawn out of the movie if I recognized the person
Yeah,
like that. But I don't know. On the
it'd be
other
like
hand,
seeing Gerald Undone from YouTube in the
oh
movie, unless he
yeah,
was playing himself,
I'd
Martin
say there was that
Fox
one
or
episode where the MythBusters played themselves in like CSI or whatever, and that was a good laugh.
yeah, that was fun. I saw that actually
But that was
recently.
just
Saw it
a
again.
cameo bit. So
And then have you caught up with and seen the movie with Ryan Reynolds, blue shirt guy? What's it called?
the new one he was
The
just
new
in?
one, yes.
No, I've not seen that
Something
yet.
guy, good guy, something guy.
Um,
How soon they forget. Anyway, I really like that movie. And I think you would appreciate a lot of the gaming nod stuff. And they had a lot of YouTube gamers that talk about gaming on their shows talk about what was going on in the movie. So,
mm,
for instance, they had Alex
hmm
Trebek doing Jeopardy. This is right before he died. He
Wow.
did this movie. Then they had all of these YouTube people talking about the blue shirt guy, which was really fun. And then they did a lot of what they did in the movie. They did extemporaneously, just ad libbing,
Really?
and then they captured it. And so
Huh. Okay.
because Fox had just been, or I think it was Fox, had just been bought by Disney,
hmm
which had connections to Marvel and Star Wars. They
Yeah.
brought in Marvel characters and Star Wars tropes
Okay.
and made fun of some of that. Made fun in a
Oh, of course.
lighthearted way. Uh,
Excuse me.
what am I looking for? Tribute kind of way
Mhm.
to they had Chris Evans do a cameo as Chris Evans
Okay.
when the blue shirt guy does a Captain America move or something like that, and he sees it on screen and goes, "Wait a minute!" It was funny. There was a lot of
Huh.
cool scenes that are worthwhile. So if you ever get a chance to see it, whether in the theater
See.
or on Disney Plus or whatever, check it
Yeah,
out.
whenever it comes to streaming, I'll
Yeah,
definitely have to check that out.
definitely check it out because it's
Free Guy. There it is.
Free Guy. Thank you. I kept thinking Guy, but it was something Guy. Anyway, but I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and there's just so many bits in it that were so worthwhile. Like, there's one where the bad guy, gaming mogul, who is the owner of this game world that they play in,
Mm-hmm.
he's the bad guy,
Yep.
of course. And so
I already know who this is based off of. I can already tell.
okay, well he ends up coming up with an idea of taking blue shirt guy out by having a greatly enhanced version of blue shirt guy who is like super muscular. They actually had a bodybuilder do the body, and then they CGI'd his head, Ryan Reynolds' head, on this body.
Okay.
And so at some point when the big dude, which is, I think he's just this big hulking dude called Dude, that was his character name. And when he appears, he goes, "Catchphrase." And one of the guys turns to the head dude and says, "Catchphrase?" He says, "Yeah, it's very meta. His catchphrase is catchphrase."
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just kind of the way it goes. It's a lot of fun. So
It's always interesting to see Hollywood, of all people, riffing on industries that are not very self-aware.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ryan Reynolds humor,
Yeah, no,
all
like
done very, very, very PG. I mean,
really,
yes,
that's actually somewhat surprising.
not over the top at all because they were
Because I got the
going.
impression from the trailer it was more of like a kind of GTA-ish parody,
It is. There's that, but
but it's
it's the violence side. They don't do a whole lot with sex, booze, and rock and roll stuff.
mhm.
It's more the violence, but it's done. It's
Hmm.
cartoon violence. It's
Right,
unbelievably stupid
violence
violence.
by way of Looney Tunes.
Yeah. So, and there's such a sweetness to the character of the free guy that, and of course, Ryan Reynolds playing that is totally tongue in cheek. It's just
Of course,
cute
as he does.
as he does. It's like the people they got to play the various parts, they couldn't have gotten anybody better in most
Okay,
all of the parts.
that is half the battle. Is just casting.
Oh yeah. So it's splendid, worthwhile. You need to check it out. But
That
anyway,
reminds me, though.
yep.
Sorry, did you have something else about
No,
that
no, no.
you want to
That's
say?
kind of it.
I just remembered I wanted to make this joke that might not actually be a joke.
Okay.
What do you think is the possibility or probability that the Mario movie that I talked about
Uh huh.
has an in-credit scene that's a teaser for a crossover Smash Brothers movie between Mario, Sonic, and Detective Pikachu?
That would be cute.
That would be really stupid. I don't think that's going to happen,
Yeah.
but I could
Is it
see
the
it.
same studio?
I'm sure it's not.
I was trying to say that would be
Let's
the
go
trick.
see, actually.
It all, unfortunately, excuse me, has to do with politics and money.
Yeah.
But
I mean, of course, Sonic isn't even a Nintendo character.
that would,
But,
to me, was the thing that I liked about.
oh, right, of course. I forgot. The Mario movie is being made by Illumination.
Oh, okay.
That's the other thing that had us all worried initially.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, Despicable Me was fun, but it's
Right.
not Mario.
No, that's true. That's true.
But
And I don't know.
it definitely seems like this is a comedy movie, so
Yeah. Well,
that is what they're good at.
well, as one of the few people on the planet who actually got the joke with the live action Mario movie, I'm not saying I liked it per se, but I enjoyed it because it was
It's
just completely silly and
yeah.
bizarre. But anyway,
Also, apparently, the guy that played Luigi in that movie
uh-huh.
recently tweeted about the cast reveal for the Mario movie, the new one.
Yep.
And I can't tell if he's joking or not because the tweet is framed as like, "I'm so glad they're remaking that movie I was in. It deserves more attention." But I don't think they'll be able to pull off the script the way that we did.
Mm.
And I'm like, I really can't tell if you're being facetious or not
I
because this is
I
text.
think it's safe to say he was.
I hope so.
Yeah, because it was universally not liked by anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it in a weird way.
It was sure a trip.
Yeah,
You could not say you were bored.
that is true. That is true. And
I,
we won't even talk about M. Night Shyamalan's foray into uh, Avatar.
oh. Speaking of, oh no. You probably haven't heard, have you?
About
You may have heard they're making a live action remake of Avatar The Last Airbender
yes for Netflix, right?
for the CW, I believe.
Now that is,
It's either Netflix or the CW. I don't remember which,
I
to be
thought it was
honest.
Netflix, but anyway, okay,
It might be Netflix.
yeah,
But either way, the original creators were involved. Were
okay,
involved. Past tense.
oh,
They have left the project now.
oh,
And around the same time, a script leaked.
yeah,
Or not a script, character descriptions.
okay.
I actually need to go look it up to get the exact wording because it's so bad.
They want to stay true to the video game movies
no.
are always going to be terrible. Although I guess it's
Oh,
not a
Avatar's
video
not a
game
video
movie.
game,
Yeah, it's not. It's just
It's also a series, by the way.
oh,
A
it's
live
series.
action series.
Okay.
Here it is. Yeah, it is Netflix.
Okay.
Okay. Brace yourself.
Yes.
Aang is a typical 12-year-old boy. A bit goofy, a bit nerdy, restless in school, always eager to join his friends for fun and games. He's nimble, energetic, and quick in the schoolyard. Adopted at birth, he's struggled with questions of how he fits in, but his slaving parents have worked hard to make him feel accepted, and he's grown up to become generous, kind-hearted, and cheerful. He's also been gifted with an incredible mystical power he doesn't really understand, but it could be the key to saving the world from a global conflict. It's a responsibility he's reluctant to accept because it'll take him away from his family, friends, and everything he knows. All he wants is to just be a regular kid. None of this sounds anything like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No.
Why is there a school?
Yeah.
It gets worse,
How
too. I'm
does
not
he
going to
have
read
a
all of it.
family?
But yeah, how does he have a family? Like, reading just that one paragraph, you could maybe believe that's just the setup right before the Fire Nation attacks and kills the entire Air Nation.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if you keep reading, which I won't because there's a lot.
Yeah.
The other character descriptions also talk about a school. And Zuko's even mentions that he is Aang's rival in a school project. So it looks like it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, but as a high school drama. And I don't understand how they thought that was a good idea.
I know. I mean, oh my. That's a shame because early on, when I heard that the original folks were involved,
Yeah. We were
it
like,
was kind
okay,
of
maybe
like,
there's a
oh,
shot.
they're finally going to do it right. They're going to redeem the whole thing.
No,
And
they,
now it sounds like
they went a different direction, let's say.
Yeah, they went a different direction.
There's actually been a whole series of things getting reboots and remakes that sound absolutely terrible. Like, I think we talked about before, the Powerpuff Girls are getting a live action remake.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And it sounds awful.
That's just wrong. There's certain classic things that are just should stay in that universe.
Yeah.
Whatever they originally were set in. That's why I kind of feel funny about Babylon 5.
That's the thing.
Hand,
Like
I'd like to see certain things updated.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to mess with the in-universe stuff.
When I first heard about it, I immediately went, oh no, it's another one.
Yeah, there's some of that.
Once again, whenever the original creator is involved, you have at least some hope. But
yeah. Well, he's saying that JMS is saying that he has grown since back then. He's been involved in a lot of the projects. I didn't realize he was one of the writers in game.
Really?
He was, yeah.
I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
So, he's got more experience. He's basically saying, therefore, my perspective will be different. My writing will be different. I mean, that's good and bad because I like the arcs in Babylon 5.
If you really like the original, it's hard to see it reimagined.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, they're not going... most of the main characters, sadly, have died off, the actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be reasonable to bring them back. I mean, particularly since the longest lived character in all of Babylon 5 was Delenn, and Mia Furlan has passed away. So they couldn't exactly bring that in unless they
have to recast her. Yeah.
And recastings can work, but I don't know. I just have mixed feelings. I kind of hope that they do more, kind of like The Mandalorian. We got all new characters. It's still in the Star Wars universe, but they're developing their own world.
Yeah.
And their own
totally new stories.
Yeah. And that's,
although that being said, Mandalorian Season 2 was basically just a series of cameos, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So
they were fun cameos.
A lot of people complained really hard about...
Well, I know.
pulling the rest of the Star Wars universe into it. But
See,
I was
there's
like,
a
no.
case where I think if they'd have brought Sebastian Stan in to be Luke, recast him, and let him be Luke, they could do a lot more with that and kind of do a
Yeah.
Jedi Academy. Maybe even spin that off.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
it was fun seeing, even though the CGI wasn't as good as what some of the fans have done since,
Yeah.
they've done a better job than they did, which has got to be embarrassing.
A little bit, yeah.
But still, it was fun. Somebody even
No, like,
rescored it and put the some of the music from the original, Jedi music and everything that's like Luke's theme and all those kinds of things. Took that music and put it into the episode of The Mandalorian where Luke appears. Did a really good job. It looks and sounds good. So some of the guys that did the deep fakes that were better of Luke's character in The Mandalorian, those people have been hired.
Yes, I saw that.
By Mandalorian.
That's pretty good. Which I remember when I saw it, I was like, I wonder if that's a hint.
I think it is a hint. I think there are going to be more of those kinds of things. But that's very cool that fans that are technically adept can actually maybe get careers out of what they're passionate about. That's really cool.
Which that's the thing, like getting hired by Lucasfilm for The Mandalorian, you've got a career set up for life.
Yeah, you are set. Exactly. I mean, that is just really cool. I could never do that kind of thing, but for the people that can, more power to them.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, I'm going to have to go pick up Belinda at work, so I had better go do that. But I'm glad we got a chance to do this. Indeed. Hopefully the video came out all right and we don't have any glitches. We do want to get together with you and have a time like this with all three of us.
Yeah.
So
someday when our schedules actually line up properly
again. We get that to happen. We're actually going on a real vacation next week, starting Saturday through Thursday of next week. We're going to go to the beach and go to a hotel where they have actual water to play in. And it's in South Carolina where we can actually go in the water and not be restricted. So that'll be nice. And be cool. So, speaking of restrictions, I hear that Missouri is not clamping down like they are around here.
No, they've pretty much completely opened back up here.
Yeah. So that's good, at least in terms of having a little more ability to go and do and so forth. So.
Yeah, we actually got to go see movies.
Yeah, cool. We did too, although, it's still, there's still restrictions. Let's put it that way. But it's
honestly
bad.
I kind of missed the one where there had to be a seat between each group because it meant I didn't have someone sitting next to me that I didn't know.
Well, that's true.
True. Oh well.
Well, we're in the so to speak handicapped area because of me bringing in my walker and so forth. And actually, to be fair, your mom's also using a walker now because of her back surgery.
Oh yeah.
So we both come walking in with our walkers and park them, and we have two seats together. When we saw Shang-Chi, and we had a walker parked on either side.
There you go.
But it worked.
Natural deterrence.
So, but nobody was around us, so that was cool. And we munched our popcorn and watched the movie and sat through the credits. It's amazing how many people leave at the end of a Marvel movie.
I don't understand it.
The end credit scenes.
Even before the mid-credit scene, people leave. And I'm like, there's going to be something in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah. So, crazy.
Oh, well.
She-Hulk is coming.
Yes.
Going to be fun.
She-Hulk is coming.
Hawkeye.
Right, Hawkeye's the next one.
Is coming. And
then, of course, Eternals and Spider-Man in theaters.
Spider-Man. Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness,
Multiverse of
I think, is
Madness.
the next one.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Many things.
I don't remember what the other
happen
series
there.
are that are coming, but lots coming up.
Yep.
Also, Mandalorian should be back before too much longer.
That's true. Or Boba Fett, one of those.
Oh, yeah, Boba Fett's first and then Mandalorian.
Right.
And then, I don't remember if that's... One of them starts in December. I don't remember which.
Yep.
So.
Lots to look forward to.
Indeed.
Lots of good
Still
stuff.
a big year to come in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
How did it get this late in the year? I don't understand.
Yeah. This year has gone by fast and also slow at the same time. There's my phone. Hold on, let's see what it is. Oh. Spam.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, I will let you go. We will talk to you a little bit later. Well, there you go. The GameMaster. We had a long discussion, I know, and there were several strange occurrences during our visit. But at any rate, he's in Missouri. So he was coming to us all the way from Missouri via Jitsi. And I encourage you to join us again when the GameMaster shows up. He comes in every 100 episodes or so. Back to our regularly scheduled show next time. But at any rate, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you hung in there. Words are just so strange. You know, you can hang in there, and then once you have continued to hang in there, you have hung in there. I know, it shouldn't be that hard, but what can I say? It's just a thing. So anyway, join us again next time. Remember until then that the Doctor is out of here.
Dr. Bill, the Computer Curmudgeon, is a production of DrBillDaily.net with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ding the bell to be notified of future videos.